So I don't have a very good agenda for this one because we've both came off my vacation week. You've had a busy week. Your boy, Mr. Michael, is in town, so he just went to a birthday party.
I did. Bit of a late night.
Yeah. We're doing this during the day, so I'm actually drinking coffee.
Me too.
Okay. There's actually coffee in here. Yeah. And we're trying this out on a new system.
30 minutes ago.
Right. That's why I knew I had to text you. I knew you had a late night, which is fine. Good for you. Have fun.
It's pretty mellow, but getting ready to go out at 10 p.m. on a Wednesday night. I can't remember the last time I was in that position.
Oh, you're not? You mean you're not an international rap superstar who just goes out at 10 o'clock at night? You're like, man, I have bills and I have stuff to do.
Exactly.
It's like the standard. Go ahead. Yeah.
I literally have to do my taxes and organize receipts today.
Oh,
I'm not looking forward to that.
Done. It's like the Kevin Hart bit earlier in his career when he talked about going out in Vegas with I think like Dwayne Wade or someone, and they go out, they have fun, and he's like, yeah, that was crazy. We're gonna do it again tonight. And Kevin Hart's like, you see, I got a checking and a savings, and sometimes it takes 2 days for the money to get from my savings to my checking.
The way my account is set up.
Yeah, a fantastic bit. All right, so this is episode 327 of the Hooniverse podcast. I did an episode with Mr. Zach Clapman last week.
That was enjoyable.
Yeah, good.
Hearing from him personally.
Yeah, he's always a great guest. And then I was just on their podcast yesterday, which I don't know when it comes out. Yeah, I was
yesterday?
up. What's that?
Was it yesterday?
Yes. No, it was Tuesday. Sorry, Tuesday. It was Tuesday, Tuesday. I was up in that area.
You had a busy Tuesday.
Yeah.
Can we talk about it?
Oh, I was going to tease what it is, but I can't say fully what it is.
Sure.
I was up in the Venice area recording a television program. I'm in one episode along with a co-host, and then the other episodes will feature other people. And it's a really neat premise that I cannot tell anybody else about yet.
Okay. I saw your,
show.
I guess, co-host last night.
Yeah.
Mike's birthday celebration.
He posted about it. So Jared Deanda and I were on the same episode. So I can say that because that's on the internet. And the producer of the show posted that too. So that's fine. Yeah. Jared Deanda and I hosted an episode together, and it was great. We had a lot of fun.
Cool, man.
Funny thing, when Jared showed up and we're recording, Jared and I had to be there at 11, and he sent me a text as he was there. Like this is pretty professional because it was funny because they had a makeup chair and everything. So I had fucking makeup on, which is hilarious to me. But he sent me a text like, yo, I know you like IPAs. Meet me outside at my truck before we start rolling. I was like, what? So we split a beer before we started rolling. I was like, all right, even for me, this is pretty, I'm impressed. Yeah.
Take the edge off.
Take the edge off, I guess. And then we had a celebratory one after. But I was already up there. I didn't want to sit through traffic because I was done around 3:30, 4 o'clock. So earlier I chatted with Farah and Zach, and they're like, yeah, come on the podcast, and then we'll go get dinner. I was like, perfecto.
Nice.
So I did that.
Makes it a worthwhile trip?
Yes. Much easier to sit through post 8 o'clock traffic is very different than 6 or 7 o'clock traffic in LA, as you know. But I want to, enough about that. I want to talk about how what the hell is it called? The shitbox Speakeasy. Yes. It looks like it's going pretty damn well.
Yeah, dude. That is the term we've coined for it. Unfortunately, you can't hashtag that on Instagram. So it's not gaining the online traction we might like to serve some of our sponsors and contributors to the space. But we finally got our bin pack lifts up. We've got a tire mounting machine and balancer in there, so we can mount and balance our own stuff without worrying about anybody screwing it up because we're four-wheel guys basically. Well, Vin works at Hoonigan, but he's probably got more wheels than any of us. swap between his different cars. So it's hugely convenient, and man, it's just, it's given me such peace of mind not having to worry about my cars. Like when I previously parked, I have one spot in my building garage, and that's reasonably secure, knock on wood. I haven't had my car broken into there, others have. But I was parking across the street in a public lot, and I had 3 cars broken into in the last year. So, it's like now we go over there, change cars for whatever reason, or go and just detail cars, work on little stuff. Like it's the best, man. I just got so much peace of mind, and knowing that my stuff is secure and that, everybody that has access is respectful, and they're not going to trash your stuff, leave junk out, leave tools out. It's a really great situation. So I'm super grateful to have it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I saw you post the picture with was it the Mustang is over the Tahoe right now or something like that? Which is great that you can have enough room to get the Tahoe. Well, not that the Tahoe is like sky high or anything, but still, it helps that your Tahoe is lowered. Is that close?
Yeah, it was pretty close. We were like within an inch or so.
Is there a tray, or could the Mustang theoretically? Oh, so even if the Mustang dripped, it's not going.
And the only thing that drips on the Mustang is one of the oil drain plugs. Has like a plastic, or I guess it's probably polyurethane or something.
Like a crush washer?
Crush washer? Yeah, exactly. And I think whoever changed the oil last, I know who it was. I think they tightened it too much and it cracked it. So it has the tiniest of leaks, but otherwise, it's not really a concern.
That's pretty sweet. And that's one of the reasons why, even though I still have to get under my truck or my wife's Mazda or even this thing to get the oil filter off, switching to the oil extractor to pull the oil out the top.
Oh, yeah.
It's sweet because I never mess with the drain plug. And there's people like, well, you won't get every drop of oil. I'm like, I'm getting 99% of it. Sure. So if like 1% of old oil mixes with new, it's fine. It's totally fine. Right. Some people like to look at the drain plug so they can see if there's anything metal in the bottom. If that's a problem, I have more things to worry about. But on vehicles with as high of mileage as I drive, pulling the oil out the top, not messing with drain plugs is fantastic. So
totally,
I can't recommend it enough.
And if you want to do some maintenance stuff, little stuff, or even detail, like you're welcome anytime, dude.
Well, I want to cruise up just to see it and say hi,
sure.
and pop my head in there and have it. Like I'll bring some good beer over there while you guys are chilling there. I mean, there's
because we have nothing but trash beer. We've got nothing but Coors Light and I think Tecate in the fridge now.
Okay, so I can help fix that. And maybe bring a bottle of tequila or something too. But
there you go.
Because it's kind of like in between us, right? I mean, it technically might even be closer to me.
I think it's closer to me. I really don't want to say where it is, but right. We geotag all over the place. Just
really?
Keep some anonymity.
Sure. So then pretend it is closer to me.
Yeah. There's been a couple times where I'm there by myself, like late on a Sunday. Like there's usually activity in the other businesses even through Saturday.
Right.
But I gotta admit, I don't love being there by myself on Sunday. We've got a security and protection situation figured out now. But early on, like in the last, I don't know, maybe a little more than a month ago when we first moved in there, it was there's some creeps that were cruising around, and like it's basically an industrial complex, and when it's empty, there's like when businesses aren't operating, it is dead quiet and empty, and you're pretty much isolated. So I'm not super concerned about it anymore, but we've still got to get some get our Ring cameras and all that stuff up and running. Hopefully we'll get that up in the next week or so.
Sweet. Well, off air, let's plan a time when you're going to be there so I can cruise up and say hi, because I'd like that a lot. I'll cruise all the way down to San Diego where it's located. Wink.
It's in Southern California.
Right. Maybe. No. So that's fantastic. Now, has any status changed on your project cars, especially now that you have this space? Is anything going on?
Not really. I been busy, like you said, and I don't think we've chatted since, or at least on the podcast since Long Beach Grand Prix weekend. That was fun.
Yeah.
So I've just been kind of busy, and I haven't really had any needs. I mean, the Mustang, I need to do basically rewire the front half of the car, everything from the from the firewall forward. So I'm just going to do a Holly Terminator X on that. And, I think I'm going to tackle that myself now. I've been just watching videos and reading, the install instructions and stuff. So I think I'm going to try and do that. Just take my time since I have the space now, and the car's not really in anybody's way. So I think instead of farming that out, I think I'll take that on myself. And that I don't know when that'll happen, but now that I have the capability to do so, it's not a super rush, but I'd rather have the satisfaction of doing it and seeing it through and knowing all the parts and kind of learning as I go.
That's awesome, and knowing that you can all right, I'm not done today. This car can sit for another month if I don't get back to it. Plus, you have a few people in the shop who might be like, hey, try doing this, or I've done this before. Right. Vin does tons of wrenching. I know that, and I don't really know all the other guys in there, but I know Vin does tons of his own shit, so that's good.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. And then the Audi is running fine. You're happy with how that's going?
No complaints there. I've got a new set of wheels coming. I've been waiting on tires from Michelin for 6 months or more now. Supposedly they shipped from France a couple weeks ago, but my contact there is out of the country until later this month. So I don't know that I'll get any update on that, but I've got a new set of 21-inch rotiform wheels waiting for that. So I'm excited for that. And otherwise it's smooth sailing.
That's awesome. That's very good to hear.
I hope I'm not jinxing myself.
Yeah. So I'm still trying to figure out what's going on with this Jag, with the cooling fans not turning on. I haven't really taken a deep dive into it, but I'm going to start with some basic fuses. I'm going to look at the fan controller. And then I also have a weird theory that since I changed the alternator, I don't know what's going on because there's sometimes if I'm at idle where the volts will just dip about halfway in the gauge. And I'm wondering if, as it does that, if there's something where that's now not enough juice for the fans to want to kick on. So I wonder if that dip is causing it to not kick on. So I want to sit there, let the car get up to temp at idle, and then just start poking around, see what's going on. And I just haven't had time to do that, which is a bummer. I've also been toying with the idea of just selling it. So, which I think I've mentioned a few times. I really like it. I think it looks cool. It rides nice. I'm just not as emotionally attached to it. And there might be a chance. On the flip side, though, I kind of want to wait to sell it until I have to try to get it smogged, because I just had to renew it, which means I've had it for about a year now. So it didn't need to get smogged this time. But I want to try to get it smogged so that when I go to sell it, I know for a fact, it's smog legal. I know the person I bought it from has got it smogged. I know it has a sticker. I just would feel more comfortable. And then I know that I could be like, all right, I'm raising the price $5,000 because it's a smog legal V8 swap Jag. So in theory, that would be the play. That would be the game. So
that is both honorable and wise.
Right. Yeah. Financially beneficial, but also honorable. Yes, exactly. Now, one thing that's interesting, I just thought of it because I'm staring at this new podcast software in the future, because if you're listening to this, I'm going to put this out today, but originally Ron and I were going to try our hands at a live stream, and I clicked on the Hooniverse podcast YouTube channel, which is a young channel with barely any subscribers. And I clicked the create live stream button. And if it's your first time doing that on a small channel, you have to wait 24 hours for it to basically verify the channel. So that was hilarious. So on the flip side, I turned to this Riverside FM. We were using a software called Zencaster, which was fine. It had some stability issues from time to time, but for the most part, it was okay. This rates higher. The price is about the same, a little bit better. So we're going to test this and see how it goes. But the neat thing with this software is that in the future, if we wanted, we could send out a link, and then theoretically people could sit in as guests as we're recording the podcast, which is kind of funny.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. I don't know.
Can they participate in the conversation or just
that? I don't know. I have to find out, because there is a chat functionality on the sidebar of this. So theoretically, I think we could do that. We could even test it in the future with just a few people, just that we know. Be like, hey, just chime in. You don't have to sit in for the whole thing, but just jump in. Like our buddy Anthony might do that, and I think it's also possible there's an app version of this for phones where we could have guests. we could have guests record from their phone. So if someone was like, traveling, so that could be cool because video and audio quality on phones is great.
Right.
Theoretically, I think guests could watch from their phones too. So there's some neat stuff we can play with. And as I was showing Ron in the beginning, there's these hilarious buttons you can play with, and you can add your own in the future. So realistically, if I wanted to, I could fully produce this from within this if I uploaded our the music I use for the beginning and the intro and outro. So I don't know.
Can you edit within this software or the app?
I don't know. I'd be surprised if you couldn't, but I still like pulling stuff into. I do it in Premiere anyway because sometimes I need to sync my audio because I discovered that since I'm recording on a webcam and then a separate mic, this webcam, I cannot fix. This is going to get technical. I cannot fix the frame rate of the webcam. So sometimes it's jumping frame rates to deliver the right picture, whereas the audio is at a constant frame rate. So sometimes I would go into Premiere and over the course of the recording, it would just get out of sync.
Lose,
frame rates. I found software that can fix that on the back end. It's just another step, but it actually was really cool because it adjusts the video, it turns it into a constant frame rate, and then adds the audio, and it's synced, which was a really sweet workaround because I was about to lose my mind. Whereas like you're recording on the same, yours gets recorded and synced perfectly as the guest, even though your video footage is lower quality than my webcam because I have some fancy one. So it's just weird.
The irony is that even that regardless of what platform we're using, like the video quality for your image on my end is always like stuttery and blurry. Like right now, like you're like 8-bit.
Yeah, sure. Because
I know it always turns out fine, but just for display purposes, it's always like, oh crap, are we about to freeze? Like, losing Jeff.
No, see, that's to keep stability in the system. The live footage sometimes is as low as 240p, which or even less. Like yours, you're not stuttery right now, but the image quality is low. Whereas on my screen, it's full 4K for my camera, and then it does stuff where it'll record locally on separate machines and then upload, so it's not draining resources on just one machine or the other. But that's a lot of podcast back-end stuff, but
nerds.
Yeah, exactly. But I think this could potentially be a good solution, and if it is, I'm going to cancel my subscription to the other solution because the amount of money you spend chasing this shit is painful. I'm going to pull up the Twitter questions. We got a couple Twitter questions because I said we were doing a live stream, which we are clearly not. Oh shit, that's funny. I just saw a question from one of my friends. So first one from Sterling Matheson at SZ Matheson. What car most deserves a purple velvet racing stripe? It's a very interesting question. Yeah. If Prince ever created a race team, I think you could do a purple velvet racing stripe on one. Other than that, just for shits and giggles, it'd be funny because, Lewis Hamilton is way into fashion. Not that purple velvet is currently en vogue in fashion, but if anyone could pull it off, it would be the man who doesn't care what he wears or how he's seen wearing. He cares what he wears. Exactly. He doesn't care how he's seen wearing it. Yeah. Yeah,
I would. I'd agree with that. But I have something like a Stutz Bearcat or something in mind, even though it's not at all a race car. Like it's just the only thing that I can think of that would like have a purple velvet interior, and then some owner would want to bring that out and share that with the world. And I think
that's a good answer.
Like some 70s obnoxious kit car shit.
No, I agree with that. I think that a Stutz Bearcat is a fantastic.
A Bearcat is not exactly a kit car. It's
no.
How expensive those things were, but it seems like the kind of adornment that an owner of one of those would have.
Yes, I agree with you. Woke Johnny Bravo at Sean Keeley 2 says, what drugs does Domagoj Ducek take? I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name. And what is the German Polizei doing to prevent something so dangerous from spreading to other car designers? For those of you who don't know, he just released
BMW's designer.
Yep, he just did the 7 Series, which just came out.
Oh my god!
I don't know what you think about it. I know that I think it is the front end is atrocious. The rear bumper treatment is atrocious. The interior looks fantastic, and the shoulder line looks nice and strong. That's what I can say about the outside of it.
It looks like shit. But I don't see anything redeeming. Like, yeah, the interior's cool. It's got that, I don't know, it's got a 31-inch screen that flips down.
Yeah,
Is that
something
correct?
like that.
It's not fixed, right? Like, there's no
I
way
would
that's
assume it
fixed.
can't be. Yeah, like
Right.
it probably. Yeah,
Like, I assume that it's probably got a rear view camera and display instead of a physical mirror.
it would have to, right?
So it could be fixed, but I mean, I think it's just ridiculous and like looming. But I mean, the
Right.
front end, yeah, atrocious is the right word. Like, that thing is just hideous. The grills are absolutely, just outsized, enormous. It's, it's just, I don't know, man. Like, you look at the new BMWs, I think they just teased like an i7 or something recently that looks, or maybe it's the refresh of the X7. And it looks like a Hyundai or a Kia SUV. It looks like they stole styling cues directly from it. And I give credit to Hyundai, Kia, Genesis for having the most progressive design departments, but BMW like aping them is just
Hilarious.
sad. And it's like, this shit is just it's just incongruous and I think hideous all around. And like, even the front seats look like 70s like bark loungers. Like, I'm sure they're comfortable, but like the stitch pattern is not like, I don't know, it's not attractive to me. I'm sure it's a wonderful car to drive, but
Sure.
I would not want to be seen in it. I would have limo tint all the way around, and I would park behind the building. I would not pull up to valet in that thing. Like, I would not ever want to be seen in it.
Valet would be like, you want me to keep it up front? You're like, nope.
No.
Please, I'm going to lose my appetite for my dinner. It's pretty shit. Our friend Jonathan Klein at Jonathan_Klein asks, if a woodchuck could chuck wood, would you rather have an Aston DBS Superleggera or a Bentley Continental Speed?
Damn. That's a toss-up, dude. I love both of those cars. I literally would have to flip a coin. I think the Superleggera is probably the best looking coupe ever made, but the Bentley is just right behind it, dude. I love both of those cars.
I'm a homer for Aston Martin. I've been a big fan for years of their stuff, and I love the DBS Superleggera. However, what Bentley's done in the last few years to their designs inside and out and the quality of the cars, like the Bentley is definitely a nicer car on the inside.
100%.
No
the interior
question.
is perfection.
Yeah. And the outside now looks awesome.
Yeah.
The DBS sounds better. The DBS is going to be a more exciting machine behind the wheel, but I'm with you. Like, if I picked one, I would think about the other from time to time.
Oh, totally.
Just because I love Aston, I would probably go, like, there's something a little bit more elegant, like, not to sound lame, but here in Orange County, well, just because
Elegant? More elegant
yeah,
than a
because
Bentley?
the Bentley designs have gotten tougher in a good way.
Sure.
Whereas Aston, like now, just the sweep of these hoods, and Merrick Regman is doing pretty awesome stuff over there and has for years.
I think the Superleggera hood, if I remember correctly, is the largest piece of like uninterrupted carbon fiber and
it's something like that
on a car today or something like that.
Right. Yeah, I think you're correct. I would probably pick the Aston just because, like, you see more Bentleys than you do Astons here. You don't see a lot of either, but I feel like you see more Bentleys than you do Astons.
I see
Now, here in Orange
way
County.
between those two models. I would agree, but I see way more Vantage. And
That's true.
To 90% of consumers and people on the street, they wouldn't know the difference.
Right.
And I don't know. I mean, I'm with you. Like I said, I would choose the Superleggera, but I would envy the Bentley driver as well.
And interestingly, on the SUV side for both of these, I see way more Bentegas than I do DBX.
Totally. Doug DeMuro,
Yeah.
I think. Who was it? Maybe it was Doug. It was Tyler Hoover. He did a spot a few months ago on how the Bentayga is the only luxury SUV to actually depreciate.
Oh,
Like,
shit. Really?
They're just, I don't know if they just made too many of them or they're just too expensive to begin with. But, compared to Range Rover, Cullinan, everything else in the category, it's the only one that still has massive depreciation.
That's crazy because
I thought that was interesting.
I mean, Range Rover, the joke was always that as soon as you drive it off the lot, you've lost $15,000. And I'm
Right.
amazed that's not the case anymore. Francisco Guerrero at Guerrero_FJ. Battle of New Asian Generation. Who are you going for in 2023? Manual Supra versus Corolla GR versus new Nissan Z versus new Civic R versus Elantra N. I wouldn't put the Elantra N in that group. Even though I have no problems with that car, and I have a Kona N outside that I actually am having a blast in. I would pick, this pains me to say it, because my heart says new Nissan Z. I really think like the Corolla GR could be more fun than the new Z, but I'm hoping that the new Z is awesome.
Sure. I'd agree with you in that assumption, but I don't know. It's not an all new chassis. The Z isn't, so I don't think it's going to be a huge leap in performance, at least chassis wise. But I could be wrong. Adding turbos makes it a completely different animal. I would probably go with manual Supra, but the caveat being the Targa version, because I don't really fit comfortably in the Supra, as we've discussed previously. I love the chassis. I hate the ergonomics, but if that thing had a Targa, if it had a removable roof and a manual, right. I can't think of a more fun car to drive.
And they don't offer that, right? That's not a thing.
They showed a concept, and I think they teased it, but as far as I know, it's not production ready. But that's my hope and a prayer.
I like this question from our news editor, Greg Kachadurian, at Greg C. Catch. How long can you dunk on the new 7 Series for? And the answer is till the end of time.
As long as it exists.
Yeah. Chad Kirchner, at Chad Kirchner. Would you rather fight one Elon Musk-sized duck or 100 duck-sized Elon Musk? I don't want to fight anybody, but I'll just do one full-size Elon Musk.
Yeah, totally.
I don't see him as putting up much of a challenge. I mean, maybe he studies like Krav Maga and I'd be fucking toast. I don't know. Or some weird like South African fucking slave diamond mine fighting bullshit that he knows. So next question. Camille at Car Guy Dad. Given the choice on the Corolla GR, given the choice on the Corolla GR, 6-speed stick or the just rumored announced excellent 8-speed automatic, and you live in the city and drive in traffic, they're going to do an 8-speed automatic in that?
News to me.
Yeah. On that car, I'd go with the stick because it's going to have rev matching. So
I feel like a DCT would be a better option than a 8-speed auto. I mean, I feel like that's got to be power robbing. As much fun as the ZF 8-speed is and everything that I've driven, I just, I can't imagine that car with an automatic.
Right. The only note, though, in traffic, if it was a DCT, first gears can be a little chunky on DCTs in traffic. So, but that's like the most minor of quibbles.
Number one complaint with my Audi is
first gear
engagement, and especially on decel, like it's just herky jerky.
Yeah.
So I've still got to get the APR TCU tune installed, and hopefully that clears up a lot of that. But the car is basically annoying to drive in sport mode, at least in slower traffic. I just have to put it in comfort, because otherwise it's like you're like this constantly.
Yeah, you want it to be a little lazier in that situation. Yeah. My buddy D-Man at Derek2626 asks a question saying, have you ever had any bad Uber driver experiences? And I know exactly what he's talking about because he's making a joke. When we were in Florida for the Mecum auction, we were in Florida for the Mecum auction, and I do Lyft because I hate Uber. Not that either company's better, but I don't know. The Lyft driver we got, this dude pulled up in an old minivan with the windows rolled up, the AC off, and I'm not going to make fun of a person with a medical condition, but I think he might have had like a full colostomy bag. So the AC was off. It was Florida, and the vehicle just reeked of like human feces. So we were half in the bag too. So we're like laughing at how fucked up the situation was. Now on top of that, I thought he was left foot braking because it was constantly like stop, go. And my buddy who was sitting further up, because I was in the back row of the 3 rows of the minivan, he's like, no, he's just gas brake. So he was constantly like, so I thought I was going to puke from the smell and the motion. Like I don't get car sick, and it was awful. And we're starting laughing at the ridiculous nature of the situation. And then he starts laughing just because we're laughing. thinking he's in on the joke. We're like, this dude's pranking us. And then we finally got him to roll the windows down, and it was bad. Like, you do your job, make your money. That's fine. I would never make fun of the medical condition aspect of it, but coupled with the bad driving,
it was some self-awareness, man. Like,
yeah. And I don't know if that was the case. I don't know if he had a colostomy bag. The place, I'm giving the man the benefit of the doubt. I don't even know if those can stink. Like, that's how ignorant I am on the topic. But the car smelled like shit, and it sucked. It was not a fun experience.
Oh, man.
It was funny in hindsight.
Right.
All right. So I got a couple questions from the Instagram folks. First one from someone named Anthony Day. Best JDM right-hand drive cars to import in 2029 for my lefty kid. First of all, your kid should not start out with a right-hand drive car.
Right-hand drive car, okay.
Get them to know how to drive left-hand drive well first, and if they got that, then go for it. But yeah, otherwise get them like a Delica because it's slow and they can't go fast.
Sure. Well, I'd be worried about a teenager flipping that, but God, what did he say? 2029?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's crazy. His kids, like, we're within just a few years of his kids driving. That's insane.
We're like, he's a lawyer. Buy him an R34, you cheap bastard. You make
like
money.
Both ours.
Yeah.
You just keep
sell
it in
your
my
muscle
house.
cars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give them your Tundra. Just give them your truck. Like, that's
Totally.
fine. Give them your truck. They'll be safe. M-Frax. Will small wheels, meaty tires ever come back on sports cars? The problem is brakes.
Brake size. Yeah. Not going to happen.
And we're not downsizing brakes anytime soon because cars are also getting heavier. I think we're right on the cusp of cars getting lighter, but it's going to be, well, like in the
They're
future.
going to get heavier and then get lighter. It's, we're chasing lightness of batteries and electric motors and all that stuff.
True.
But, we're talking about Taycans, Panameras and such, 5,500 pounds. It's like we have sports cars that weigh what SUVs and full-size trucks weighed, just a few years ago.
Yeah, it's the brake issue is tough.
Yeah.
Someone was just at the launch of the new Range Rover, and they said the small wheels are 21.
Right.
The upsize wheels are now 23s.
Right. It's like the Bentley GT that we were talking about earlier. Comes factory with 21s or 22s. Most cars are 22s because they have the carbon ceramic brakes that are 17-inch rotors. Like, you're not going to fit an 18, 19, 20-inch wheel around 17-inch rotors, So it's, we're not going back, And I for one, am okay with that, obviously. I like a larger wheel on most cars, as long as the tire matches the performance and load rating. I don't have a problem with it. So, I think everyone that's like, I think it's like a boomer opinion that wheels are too big and we need to go back to sidewall. Like, you can have all the sidewall you want. Like, just everything's got to get bigger along with it.
Yeah. The Kona N outside has the front rotors are over 14 inches, and that's the subcompact crossover. I like a lot of sidewall just because I think it improves. I like the improvement in ride quality without suspension changes. I would imagine that today's ride quality engineers are like on the brink of jumping off of buildings based on, whereas like wheel and brake guys are like, this is fucking awesome.
We can go how big? Fuck
Bro, we're going to put 25s on this. I'm surprised. I don't know what size the Hummer EV has, but I'd be shocked if there weren't
22s, and I think a 24 is optional because the Silverado EV has an optional 24.
Oh, that's insane. That's so big.
It is. It's crazy.
Oh, my God.
But, I mean, nothing needs humongous brakes more than those things. I think they weigh 9,000 pounds. Yeah,
and they're capturing energy back through them, too. Like, so they're doing the job of two vehicles. Bananas. So to answer your question, not for a very long time, if not ever. Daniel Robert Deroux, need SUV to towboat and be comfortable for bad roads and long trips, not sporty, 40K. So use Tahoe.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to tow? Tahoe is a fantastic, comfortable machine. I mean, you could throw an Expedition in there too, because I'm a Ford guy. But Tahoe is perfect for that. Very comfortable, can tow, not sporty, but good to go. My buddy, I have a friend with tons of money. He does very well, and he's bought his last like 3 cars have all been Tahoes. He just gets, the new one when it comes out. Here's a good question from type_R_Kelly. Cars you regret not buying?
Mustang GT350R.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got a Hellcat as a daily driver, company car back in whatever it was, 2017, and I was considering buying a GT350R, and my commute was 10 miles each way, 10 minutes, all freeway. Like, it would have been fine for my commute, and I wouldn't have put a ton of miles on it. Had it a couple years. Like the idea was to have it for a couple years and flip it and not lose any money. So I would have been able to go to the canyons every weekend and just have a blast. So that's it for me.
Nice. I had a chance while I was looking for my Montero. A friend of a friend that lives up in Northern California had this, because I wanted a Range Rover Classic. It was also on my shopping list because those are rocketing in value, but you could still pick them up fairly cheap. And this friend of a friend up in Northern California had one that was been parked because it had an oil leak, whatever. It's a Range Rover.
Right.
But it was this version of it called the Hunter Edition, which was like the rare, like I think they made 1 year of a poverty spec version where it had, cloth seats. I think it had no ABS. It might have even had rear drums. Like this real low, I've never seen one on the road, but the idea of like just this like super bare bones version of a car that I think looks fantastic on the outside. Yep. And not seeing another one made it cool. And they would have sold it for like $2,500, but I would have had to get it out of Northern California. And I don't know the extent of the oil leak. Looking back, I wish I bought it because, what I've put into the Montero would have easily covered fixing. I mean, I could have paid for the cost of a replacement engine for that fucking Range Rover at this point. And so I kind of wish I had that, even though I love my Montero. But that would have been really sweet because, like I said, not seeing another one is always interesting. And then while I was searching for the Jag, I was also looking at, E38 BMWs, which I still like the idea of one.
We were sending each other links all the time.
Yep.
And our buddy Mike Rice shot down every single potential purchase. He was a BMW Master Tech, and I still send him links to E38s all the time, even motor swap ones, and he's just like, no, dude, no. Like, just don't do it. There's not an E38 that's not just a complete cash waste.
I was having the same conversation with Freddie Tavares. He was like, hey, man, like, what do you think about the E38s? And this is a guy who will take on anything. And he said, hell no. He's like, from not just the engine, the build quality, I guess, on the interior then is also shit. So like leathers will deteriorate, stuff will break, fall apart, and it's expensive to replace, repair, and fix. It's like that's before you even get into the engines. They're nightmares. So for Freddie to be like, no, I was like, wow, you still want one?
Yeah,
because the prices you can still get them for nothing.
There's a reason why they are so cheap, but I mean it's so tempting. Like you see one. It's like perfectly stanced and clean, and it's under 10K. You're just like, there's no reason why I shouldn't buy this. Like,
well under 10K, under 10K with M Sport wheels. Those are great looking factory wheels. Like we're talking like when I was looking at the time before the used market went bananas, like $5,000-$6,000, and I was like,
totally.
Why should I not get this?
I see one every single day because my next door neighbor in my parking garage has one but it hasn't moved since it hasn't been registered since 2017, and like I've left notes a couple times because like he's asked me to like park further away from the car, but I'm like, bro, this thing does not move. Like, it's in a weird corner spot, and the way I have to park because our parking spaces are so narrow, like I'm over my line. But he can still get out, but I'm sure it's an inconvenience. But it's like, bro, this car hasn't been registered. It's covered in dust. Like, you don't drive it. You don't move it. Like, just sell it to me because I would rather own it and look at it and work on it in that space. But I can't imagine what I would have to buy it for to make it worthwhile. If he ever gets back to you and you want to go halfsies on one, let me know. I'm down. He's a weird dude, and I think it's got to be an emotional attachment to that car because he comes by like bi-weekly just to check on it. I'm like, it ain't going nowhere, bro.
Right. That's funny.
But, yeah.
The funny thing is right now I'm shopping because I said I was thinking about ditching this. I kind of want a real muscle car. And ever since I've been seeing what Zach Bowman has done with his like kind of janky, cool 66, 67 Mustang. It has like bad black paint and like perfect wheels, and it just looks awesome. It looks like an evil, fun Mustang. And his is the key is to find a coupe, not a fastback.
Totally.
Even coupes are going up now. I'm screwed. I saw one that had it was rough but patina rough. So but the floors were perfect, which is really because it stayed in Arizona for 45 years or something like that. And they wanted like 13 or something, which is just like, man, the body, like this is not a pretty car right now. It's like, how is this where we're at for Mustang coupes? These are like $4,000 cars.
Dude, people are taking coupes and converting them to fastbacks.
Oh, really?
But, yeah.
Does it look weird?
No, I mean, it just takes a tremendous amount of effort. I'm like, I don't understand how it's worth it, but that's how devalued the coupes were for the longest time. But I don't know, man. Everything is out of control. Like I hate shopping for cars right now. Like I'm like, I want to sell everything, but then I don't want to because I don't know what I could afford that I would be happy with. Like I consider selling the Tahoe. Like I was thinking like I'd rather just trade it. Like somebody trade me for like a second gen Lightning or a 96 Impala. Yeah. Like, I don't want to go through buying and selling. Like I'd love to find a dealer that has what I want and just trade straight away. Like that would be ideal. That's literally, as you're saying that, I was thinking like if there's somebody out there with like a clean running but janky looking 60s Mustang, be like, yo, you want a jack? Yeah. Let's swap. That would be fun actually. So maybe I'll start hitting people. Yo, hey, that's a cool car. Do you want to trade? But that's where I am at on that right now. Like I still like it. It's just like, all right, I got to fix the fuel smell, which I know is going to cost way too much. And then chasing the fan won't be a big deal, but it's just annoying. Yeah. And like, I'd like to get the leather fixed on the passenger seat, but like it's a few $100. It's, shit. It's just project car. It's project car life stuff. That's all. That's all. So, what else have you got coming up? Anything cool on the future horizon? Not really. I was supposed to go up and co-host This Versus That today, actually, but got canceled due to rain. I don't know if it actually rained, but I was like, do I need to drive up there for this? Like, do we have a contingency plan? So, the episodes that I did co-host back last month are rolling out now, so you guys look for that on the Hoonigan YouTube channel. But no, I don't have really much coming up. I might go to Atlanta for coinciding with Formula Drift weekend, and cool. Our buddy Jared. I need to go home and handle some personal business and just see family and hang out. So might do that coinciding with that weekend, and have some fun there, but otherwise, no, I don't really have anything planned, man. Just taking it day by day. That's awesome. Yeah. What about you? Cool. In just a few weeks, I'm going on an off-road rally in the Ozarks, which I've never been to the Ozarks, so that'll be interesting. I'll be driving a diesel Land Cruiser with a rooftop tent. The fine folks at Express Rally who run it invited me. They're like, if you just get here, and they were like, we'll pay for your flight. If you buy the flight and hotel, we'll cover it. I was like, it's like, wow, I mean, you're already offering so much. I don't want to just take. So I was like, here, this is how much my flight was. I'm like, just cover the hotel. I'll get the flight, because you're giving me your truck, the cost to enter the rally, there's food and beverage. So I was like, I don't want to ask for too much. And then it's very generous, though. Yeah, extremely. So I'm excited to do that. And then what else do I have going on? I had a couple of trips I had to say no to, like the New Z. I got invited and I couldn't go, which is a bummer. I really want to drive that. I got invited to go drive the RS3 on a racetrack with like a drifts autocross setup where we would have slept at the track too, which would have been super rad. And I can't go do that. What track? But Spring Mountain. So I can't go, which sucks. I was looking forward to that one. And then it was funny because I was thinking like, oh man, I feel invites for events kind of ebb and flow unless you're just
always a top tier. When you're in my
Right.
tier, it's like, you're getting invited to everything and then you're getting invited to nothing. And I was in the peer and I'm
Right.
like, man, I feel like I haven't gotten invited to shit in a while. And then I just got 4 invites that I had to say no to. I was like, okay, can't go. Just because it's a balance with, wife's work, kids stuff, and
Sure.
we just had vacation and blah, blah, blah. So not upset about it. It's just the way shit goes. And then that's the most exciting thing on the horizon, probably that rally coming up. But that's about it. And then, but on Monday I get the Rivian R1T,
Oh, hell yeah.
which I'm stoked about, and the Defender V8, which I'm
Oh, wow.
also stoked about. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So good little week of cars lined up. And then after this, I got to go shoot the Kona N for Auto Trader.
Nice.
That's about it. It'd be fun to go to that Formula Drift. Shit, that would have been fun. Hang out with everybody in Atlanta. But that's where we're at this week. Hopefully, I will check how the quality of this recording is after, but everything seems good from my end. We'll look into adding guests in the future, which could be pretty damn fun. And then I got to reach out to Blip Shift about that T-shirt idea. I still haven't done that. Excuse me, but I will. And then I promise on the next episode we'll be back to drinking, and we won't do more of this daytime bullshit. Even though this is nice and easy during the middle of the day.
Back to our vampiric habits.
Yes,
Our
exactly.
alcoholic vampiric habits.
Yeah. I need to take a break anyways after fucking vacation. So there you go. That was episode 327 of the Hooniverse podcast, and we will see you guys all soon.
See ya.